All right, 24 and 25, we're writing the inequalities. So system, so let's go ahead and put the big bracket thing. Okay, I'm so bad at drawing brackets. There we go. All right, let's take a look at one of the lines right here. We can see that this line right here starts at positive 1, 2, 3, so I already know it's going to be plus 3. And remember, it's always y at the beginning. So now we're going to find the slope. So we're going to find another point that lands directly on a cross section. So this point right here looks like it lands on there. So how did I go from this bottom point to the top point? I went up 1 space into the right 1 space. So that means my slope is just 1. So right, 1, x. Remember, it's always x. And now we need to see what kind of symbol we have. It's a solid line, so we know there's going to be an equal sign. And now we need to see where we're shading. So we can see that we have shaded below the solid line, which means it's going to be less than. And that's one equation. Now let's look at the second equation. So where do we start? We started at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. We started at negative 5, so it's minus 5. And remember, y over here. Okay, let's see what the slope is. Find another point that lands directly on a cross section like this right here. And how did I go from my first point to the second? I went down 1 to the right 2. That means down 1, negative 1, to the right 2, negative 1 over 2. So it's going to be negative 1 over 2x. And now let's take a look at our line. Is it a solid line? No, there's no equal sign. So now we just need to see where we're shading. We have shaded, look, right here above this line, which means it's going to be y is greater than. And there we go. That's one of my answers. Now let's check this next one, 25. All right, let's take a look at one of our lines right here. We're starting at positive 2. And let's find another point that lands directly on a cross section. That's right here. Boom. So start with y. And we see this is going to go up 1, 2, 3, up 4, so 4, and then, oh wait, it's plus 2 because we started at 2, and to the right 2, so up, or to the right 1, what am I doing? To the right 1, which means it's going to be up 4 to the right 1, which means my slope is 4 over 1, which is 4, so we're at 4x, and now let's see, it's a solid line, so we know it's going to have an equal sign on the bottom, and we shaded, let's see, we shaded above this line, you can see, which means it's going to be greater than. Now let's look at our other equation. We start on, where is it? Right here, which is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So starting at negative 4, y. And then let's see what the slope is. Let's find another point. Oh, right there. How do we get there? We went down 1 space, so negative 1. And then over to the right 1 space, which means over 1. So my slope is negative 1 over 1, which is just negative 1. So we can just write negative x. And what kind of line is this? Dotted, which means there's no equal sign. And where do we shade? We shaded below. You can see right here, he shaded, or whoever shaded below this line, which means it's going to be less than. And there is my system of linear inequalities.